I'm going to cover three very important ASP.NET concepts. Those are page load, session variables, and redirects. Page loads are just what they sound like. What do we want our web application to do when the user loads the page? Session variables are pieces of data that we want our application to keep in memory for reference on other pages or in other parts of the application. And redirects are how we get from page to page within our application. So I will cover in a demonstration those three concepts. And in this demonstration, we are going to create two brand new ASPX pages. I'll do that now. I'll call the first one simply 1. And the second one we'll call 2. So on the first page, I want to add a text box and a button. And what I want to happen when the user pushes this button, I want whatever is listed in this text box to be set to a session variable in the application, and I want the page to be rerouted to another page. And when the other page loads up, I want it to read that session variable and display that to the user. So to get to the event handler for the button, I will click on the button, and here is where we set the session variable by typing in session, left bracket, and then some name, anything we want to call it here. We just have to remember what we called it, and we want to set it equal to what's in the text box, capital T. So that will set the session variable, and then we want to response.redirect spell that right, to another page, and this page happens to be in the same folder structure. It's called 1.aspx, so I can use this syntax, a dot and a front slash and a 2.aspx, and I want to make sure that's surrounded in quotation marks because that will be a literal, and we want to end that statement with a semicolon. So the first statement sets the session variable. We don't do anything into that session variable yet. We actually redirect to a second page. So I will save our first ASPX page and CS behind, and then I'll go over to our number 2 page, and here we want to create a label by dragging a label from the toolbox, and let's make this let's make it a little bit bigger. We can easily see that. How about extra large? And okay, it's already white. Okay, so we should be able to see that. And we want to get to the page behind the page load code behind, and to do that you just double click anywhere on the web form that's not an active object. So anywhere that has that little do not symbol, you just double click. It creates the stub code for the page load, and in here we want to set our label. This happens to be called label 1 by default. Text equal to whatever our session name was that we created in 1.aspx, and that was called what, some name, semicolon to complete. Yes, these underlines, these red underlines indicate an issue, and that issue is that we need to convert this session variable to a string. We need to be very specific inside of C# with our data types, and then we surround that in a set of parentheses. Okay, it looks good. I'll save it, and we'll go back to our 1.aspx page and run that in a local browser. And here we have the 1.aspx page and our text box and button, and anything we type in here should be shown on page 2. As soon as I hit this button, I will redirect to page 2, and anything we type here should be shown on page 2. So there you go. That's a demonstration of page load of a session variable and a response to redirect. These are 3 concepts we will use throughout this class.